Good morning, Geeks and Gamers. Welcome into the 199 show starring Ryan Kennel. What's up, Ryan Kennel?
The 199 show, huh? That was going to be a rebrand?
I don't know.
Well,
Maybe,
I guess I'll put in my 2 weeks notice.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good. I was up a little bit, not really a little bit early, but I wanted to make sure I got to watch Gina's appearance on the Patrick Bet David podcast. It's still the kind of the tail end of it right now. It got started a little bit late.
Yeah.
But so that was interesting. You know, some of the hard-hitting questions about the entertainment industry from experts over there. No, but it was really good to hear, Gina get that kind of platform to talk about her lawsuit against Disney and stuff like that.
Yes. Yeah, we're gonna talk about that. And as you know, I'm a huge fan of Patrick Bet David and Valuetainment. Probably gonna have a few critiques for him as we talk about that appearance. Not from a negative thing. It's just their norm. I don't even know if you could call them normies, dude. They don't know what the fuck they're talking about with pop culture. They have no idea.
So is George Lucas still involved in anything at Lucasfilm, or is it? My ship is fucking sailed, bro. What the fuck?
Oh man, it was funny. But again, I'm a huge fan of PBD, so it was good to see Gina on there. And we'll talk about that a little bit later on. Yes, R.I.P. Virgil, WWF/E legend. I didn't even know he was having health problems. I wasn't really sure. I hadn't heard anything about Virgil in a long time. Virgil's obviously was his biggest role was
big black guy, right?
Yeah. He was with the $1 Million Man back in the day, and he later became part of the NWO. And I don't know how old he was, but R.I.P. Legend indeed. So good stuff to reminisce on his illustrious career for sure. Sorry to hear that, but R.I.P. to Virgil. Man, that sucks. If anybody knows how old he was, let me know in the chat. But
he's a wrestler, so he's probably all like roided up and all that shit. So those guys go quick sometimes.
Sometimes they do. That's what's is Rumble down? Rumble's completely down for me. I got a 5:04 gateway timeout.
I see us live.
Yeah, I'm completely time. Let's see.
There's not too many people watching, so there might be some people having problems.
Yeah, I cannot.
Yeah. I see St. Bowser in there saying, no, the stream's live on YouTube.
I got it now. It's back up.
Should have back up.
So. Okay, it's back up now.
It's not us. All right.
Not us. It's not us.
Blame Rumble.
That's right. But I had a long day. I had 4 streams yesterday, Ryan, and it's the hardest job.
Pretty soul-sucking, isn't it?
It's such a hard, difficult job. Do you know what I had to do, Ryan?
You just sit there while people
I
give
had
you
to
money.
play video games yesterday on stream and get paid for it. You know how difficult that is? Like, I deserve an award or something.
I haven't done it a really long time because it's so hard. So.
But yeah, I did. So we had daily yesterday, main event, Mario Golf, and then Cobra Cast. It was a full day of streams, and I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm ready to do it all over again. It's almost like streaming is not hard at all. It's almost like a bunch of trust fund babies that are just making shit up because they've never had a real job in their life. You ever had a real job, Ryan?
Yeah, I have.
Pretty sure you've had a real job or two.
Yeah, a couple.
Ryan respects real jobs like fast food workers, okay, but not streaming.
Well, I respect you if you do the job right. I want you to die if you do the job wrong. I literally like
in Minecraft.
I'm not saying like I want any acts of violence. I'm not calling for that. I'm like saying if they happen to drop dead and get replaced by a competent worker, that would be better for the world.
In Minecraft for YouTube reasons.
I'm just saying.
Listen, I mean, I'm not saying if me and Ryan weren't on YouTube right now, I'd probably had a lot harsher things to say, as would he. So,
well, I think we're still okay, right? We're not calling for anyone. We're not doing anything like that. We're simply saying bad fast food workers, scum of the earth. All right?
Agreed. And honestly, we always talk about the divisive nature of the internet in 2024. I think we can all agree. Bad fast food workers are pretty much the scum of the earth. Is that agreed? I mean, is there anybody that's going to disagree with that? Anybody? I don't think there's anybody that's going to actually defend bad fast food workers.
Well, I think that's probably will be some.
Trump
but it'll be people that never eat fast food, though.
Trump
Those are the only
needs
people
to
that'll do
unify
it.
America on that campaign promise to just get rid of all bad fast food workers. That's how you unify America right there.
I don't think he wants to get called racist, so I'm not sure if he would do something like that. But
anyway, I hope everybody's doing well. We got a lot to talk about tonight. We will discuss the Gina's appearance on the Patrick Bet David podcast, where they were talking about Henry Cavill as a Bond villain and that amazing role he played as a Bond villain.
he was so good as a Bond villain, it took him out. And Gina's like, "What?"
Gina's like, "Did he play a Bond villain?" He's
when
like,
did that happen?
"Did I mess that up?" And then Patrick Bet David said people surrounded by their toys are weird. And Gary was like in the comments and he's like, weird LOL. And I'm like, yeah, maybe not the best thing to say to, a person that's got a ton of Star Wars fans having her back, but whatever.
I thought it was funny how they decided to dedicate 15 minutes of the show to an ex-boyfriend of Gina's.
So
they
weird.
Just kept fawning over Henry Cavill.
And the thing is Henry Cavill is the guy that's surrounded by the fucking toys that you said is weird. He's like, oh, he's a great guy. He's a great guy. He's
sitting there like painting his fucking 40K shit. He's like...
And then he's like, you and him grapple? No, like 4 years ago, you mentioned like sex and grapple. I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
I remember this quote from 15 years ago.
Like, what is happening right now?
Yeah.
But again, I'm a huge fan of Valuetainment and, of course, Gina. And so, yeah, it's good. It's great to have her have that platform and talk about everything with the lawsuit and stuff like that. And they do seem to be very confident in this lawsuit, her and her attorneys, apparently. So again, we'll see. I know that the big step is it going to discovery, and that's where they're hoping once it goes to discovery, that kind of opens up a lot of the behind the scenes stuff from Disney's perspective. And we will see. See.
Disney has a certain amount of, like, people were asking me, what's the status of it? And it's like, well, I mean, they just filed it a couple weeks ago. I'm sure, I don't know the law in California, obviously. I'm sure Disney has a certain amount of time before they have to respond to that. I'm sure they'll try to get it thrown out immediately, and it'll have to be determined whether it's actually going to go forward or not.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, absolutely. And I saw all the 199s in the chat, and even I was like, okay, we're probably spamming too much. We might get timed out. I was trying to, I even said, hey, 199's just showing some love for Gina. We're not trying to derail or anything like that. We're just showing some love. So I was trying to give some perspective in the chat there, because there was a lot. And so maybe just try to give some perspective. If
you're going to get 199s banned at every chat.
I know. I don't want that to happen. I'm not trying to derail or anything like that. So, but it was just meant to show some love to Gina. So shout out to her. And Gina is takeover. That's right. Gina is takeover. But we got a few super chats, and then we're going to get started. We got Tomock. Let's see. Tomock, Jeremy, did you see that there's a Steam curator that is cataloging the games involved with Sweet Baby Inc? I did not, but I would like to look into that. I did not know about that. Let's see. Obi-Wan John for 5 gifted memberships. Let's freaking go. Tobias Nexus says for 10 says, I still have a real job. I would love to be good enough and charismatic enough to have streaming as a job. But here I am enjoying daily and trying to keep going. Hope you all are doing well in the chat. Hey, listen, you never know unless you just get out there. Like, again, man, I was never trying to be a YouTuber. I never felt like I had any ability to be a YouTuber. And it's just one of those things, man. You just got to turn the camera on. If you're interested to try it, connect with people, and then the sky is the limit. So we will see. I saw Gary's having a real tough time. I'm watching 2 streams at once. It's hard, man. Sorry, Gary. I'm sorry. You need to recharge your social battery, Gary. That's what you need to do. So actually, so I was talking about the whole point with Asmongold and how he said, 400 streamer or 400, a guy with 400 live viewers doesn't have any business talking to somebody like Hassan or something like that and telling him streaming is hard. And I did not see it at the time, but I'd said oh, you want to ask first of all, 400 viewers is a ton of people. That's a huge accomplishment. If you have 400 viewers watching you consistently, that's a massive success. But I was like, why don't you ask Gary, who's the biggest streamer I know? He pulls consistently 10,000 people, if not more. And I was like, why don't you ask him if streaming's hard? You know what he's going to say? It's the easiest fucking thing in the world. And then I saw Gary's tweets about how easy it is, because it is easy. You know, if you're not putting a front on, like I think Ripa made good points about it. Like a lot of these guys just are, it's them putting on a front.
Yeah, you know what's soul sucking is pretending to be somebody else.
Yes,
for
yes.
like to do that for fucking 16 hours a day or whatever. That could be soul sucking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so like I'll say it this way: streaming is easy, right? But if you're constantly being fake as fuck, and you're trying to perform and like be somebody else you're not, that could be draining in the same way that if you're working at like customer service at a job and you're not a friendly person, you're forced to put on this act the entire time with somebody you're not. Like, you could see that could be draining for somebody. But if you're just comparing these jobs, it's fucking insane. It's laughable. Every job has different challenges and different things. Sometimes it's physical, sometimes it's mental, sometimes it's emotional. Does streaming come with weird things that other jobs don't entail? Yeah. But there's a reason why so many people want to do it, because people don't want to be working 9 to 5s. That is truly soul sucking. People want to escape from that. And it's pretty ironic that the person who's probably never had a 9 to 5 job in his life, in Hassan, is the one saying shit like that.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it's just a whole different ball game. Like if you have something come up, you can literally take time off with no like, oh, I need to submit, you know, a time off slip. I need to see if I have enough vacation time built up. You know what you could do? You can go where you need to go, bring your fucking laptop and record from a hotel room and still get, you know, the job done. It's such an easy gig. This whole thing is. It's so easy, and to try to compare it to any real job is laughable for anybody that's done it. You may be able to fool your audience, Hassan, to make them believe that you're doing real work while you're sitting there eating Cheerios, while you're stealing other people's content, not adding anything of value to it. But anybody that's done it, or anybody with common sense, understands that this is easy. This is very easy. But hey, it is what it is. Linko Kenobi, who dropped a $400 super chat on Daily yesterday. $400 says, what's up, guys? I was doing a live broadcast with that podcast. Glad to have saw you and Gary in the channel. Hail the 199. Absolutely, Lincoln. I'm glad you're working on your channel, brother. Keep that grind up. We appreciate you. All right, Ryan, let's get into our first topic of the day. We're 12 minutes in.
Well, we might as well talk about the podcast that people are saying just ended.
Just ended. Okay. Just ended.
It just ended, apparently. And yes, we got the news. Was it yesterday or the day before? I don't know if it got tweeted out that Gina Carano was going to make an appearance on the Patrick Bet David podcast, Valuetainment, a massive platform. I think I saw it peak around 23,000 viewers, somewhere around there.
Yep.
And obviously, a lot of people in that kind of space where political lines cross with entertainment, a lot of people are interested in this Disney lawsuit, because we've been talking about what happened to Gina Carano for 3 years, how she was done so dirty by Disney, how they slandered her on the way out, how they fired her simply for her political opinion, while letting virtually anybody else at the company that wants to echo left-wing talking points continue to say whatever they want. And I think for a long time, a lot of us thought that ship had sailed in terms of any potential justice or lawsuit or anything like that. Elon Musk changed everything. And so now everyone wants to talk to Gina about it. And I think the podcast was absolutely a great appearance for her to get that out there to a little bit more normie audience that doesn't really know what was going on.
Yeah, absolutely. And yeah, like I said, huge audience. And again, I watch a lot of Patrick Bet David for a lot of the political stuff and the social stuff and everything like that. I've always appreciated his takes on stuff. And I do react to some of the takes that they have. And even when Adam's on there, I know a lot of people don't like Adam, but Adam brings a different dynamic. He's kind of like the lofty pixels of the show. Just has like retarded takes so they can argue him down, which is always helpful to have somebody like that. Shout out to Fear the Beardo. But it's all damn, he just caught a stray for no reason.
Yeah, and, that way he's gonna wake up and be like, what the
fuck? But yeah, with this one, I was cringing at times a little bit with Patrick Bet David, because he clearly did not know any of this stuff. He didn't know what was going on, and some of his questions
like they clearly listen. For all the people that have been calling Kathleen Kennedy basically Satan for the past it's had an effect. Like, they think that Kathleen Kennedy is running Disney. Like that's the feeling that it got from Patrick. So who do you think has more power at Disney overall? Is it Kathleen Kennedy or is it Bob Iger? It's like, bro, Kathleen Kennedy is the president of like this little aspect of a company within Disney, right? Not that Lucasfilm's nothing, but it's like one part of fucking Disney. We're literally like seeing clips of Bob Iger out there talking about how Disney needs to get political and this and that. He's the fucking CEO.
Yes.
So yeah, a couple strange questions. Also, the question of how involved is George Lucas at Lucasfilm right now? A little bit of a strange question for people like us that obviously live and breathe that kind of shit.
Yes,
right. But obviously, that tells you that's a little bit more normie audience that's probably not up to date. That probably doesn't even know what happened to Gina, why she was fired, what she was going through, and so she got to tell her story to a big group of people.
Yeah, absolutely. The comment about Henry Cavill playing a Bond villain was pretty awesome and funny. And again, simple mistake. I get it. You know what I mean? And I know. And then the comment about guys surrounded by their toys being weird by Patrick Bet David.
Talking about strays. Gary caught one with that.
Gary caught one, right?
Gary's in the chat supporting it, and he's like, "Yeah, those guys surrounded by their Star Wars, so that it's kind of weird. Like, oh man."
Oh, it's so funny. But yes, and I'm glad that again, more people need to know what's going on with Disney and Lucasfilm and Hollywood and Marvel and all of this, so that they can realize that when you're no longer in that position to send your children to a Disney movie and just think like, oh yeah, we're going to go have a fun night out at the, no, that's why they are seeing such bad ROI on everything they're producing right now, because families have completely lost faith in Disney and more people are realizing that every single day. And it's not going to get any better for Disney. It's only going to continue to get worse. Now, what happens with the lawsuit? We have no idea. No one has any idea. Obviously, Elon Musk and Twitter/X lawyers are behind this. Those are the best lawyers that money can buy. Elon's obviously got some level of interest in this. He's been taking a lot of shots at Bob Iger, a lot of shots at Disney. So now we're just going to have to see how this process goes forward. Obviously, moving forward, as that lawsuit moves forward, we'll get somebody like Legal Mindset on here to kind of give his opinions, or maybe Robert Barnes will kind of get their take on it as there's more to discuss. But right now, we're just waiting to see how the process plays out. But,
and I think, again, you even heard Gina talk about it on the podcast. This is not like, oh, can she win or whatever. I don't even really think that's the question that should be asked, is can she win this lawsuit? It's, can they get past the first stage and get to discovery?
Yes.
Because that alone, even if they can't like win the case or whatever, that alone would probably be enough for Disney to not want that to happen. Right? If you do get to the stage where you're getting all these internal emails and documents and communication between all the different aspects of people at Disney, Lucasfilm, PR departments, who exactly made some of these decisions, those are things that I don't think they want public. So regardless of, I don't think people are asking the right question when it comes to can she win or not. It's, can they get to that point? Because if they get to that point, it is a win, regardless of how far the case can actually go.
Absolutely. And that's what a lot of people want to see, is like, how did this whole process, happen? What were the messages? What were the emails? What were the discussions? Who made the call to put her on a Zoom call with 40 fucking weirdos to talk about
with 40 trans people?
Yeah, like, I mean, are you kidding me? Who would? That's it. It's psychotic, and it's and then she even offered like, well, I'll meet with them in person. Like, I'll have a conversation with a few people in person, but I don't want to go on a fucking Zoom call with 40 people to scream at me. And who makes those calls? Who puts so as an employer, you're essentially saying like, hey, because you said something that offended some weirdos, suddenly now you're gonna have to go on a Zoom call with 40 of them so they can all scream at you at the same time. That's not that's not healthy in any way, shape, or form at all. You know what I mean? That's not a good decision at all. Who made that decision? What led to that? And then, of course, then you have the flip side of it, which I know Gina's not going to mention it because she's friends with Pedro Pascal. This motherfucker said 10 times worse than her. He said 10 times worse than her.
Yeah.
And what happened with that? Why was he not held to the same standard? He was the literal star of the fucking show. And he said specifically worse, and he said it on multiple occasions.
And that's all in the lawsuit itself.
Yes,
you know what I mean?
yes.
As examples of, hey, these are how my co-stars, and not saying they shouldn't be able to speak their minds, but these are my co-stars, and like nothing happened to them.
Yeah.
Right. So that is brought up in the lawsuit.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be interesting when that does go forward. I saw some people saying, well, it's in California, so that might not be good. That's actually one of the reasons it is good, because there are some like protections in California specifically for things like that.
Yep.
So
absolutely. So, it will be interesting to see how it plays out, but the discovery part is what everybody hopes it gets to. And again, the Pedro Pascal side of things is what I find so fascinating, when he said he actually did what they fired her for. That's what he did.
Yeah, he called half the country Nazis.
Yes.
Yeah, he made the kids in cages tweet and stuff like that. Wasn't even from where he thought it was.
Yep.
Yeah, like he 100% did all those things.
Mm-hmm.
And now he's fucking Reed Richards now.
Yeah, he just keeps getting promotions and getting these big roles, but he did what you claimed she did, and you fired her and shamed her and defamed her for. And that's the most interesting part of the whole story. Not to mention, like, Disney wants to sit here and die on the hill of like protecting religious or people. We have to fire people that attack religions and different opinions. Shout out to Mark Hamill. I mean, good Lord, what a psychopath he is on Twitter. And again, this is what you set the precedent when you fire Gina and shame her for something. You got people like Mark Hamill and Pedro Pascal and Chris Evans and Mark Ruffalo running their mouth all over social media. And what's been our whole stance in this the whole time?
Just consistency. That's all.
Consistency.
That's all I'm talking about.
If you're
ideally, right? We talk about this with Dana White and UFC. So, do I really care about hearing about politics or whatever from these people? No, but at the same time, if you're going to let people talk about it, then let people talk about it on the left, on the right, whatever. You look at UFC, and one of the reasons that's thriving right now is because Dana White lets people be who they are, but he doesn't try to censor one side or the other. If you want to come out there with a Black Lives Matter t-shirt on and talking a bunch of shit, he'll let you do it. But if you want to walk out there with a fucking MAGA hat or MAGA suit on or whatever it may be, he's going to let you say that shit too. If you want to promote LGBTQ rights, okay. You can also have Sean Strickland, who kind of talks the opposite way, right? So you're going to have people being able to be themselves, and you have consistency when it comes to UFC. That's all people are really asking from any company.
Yep, 100%. So if you have not had a chance to watch the Patrick Bet David podcast, you should go check that out over on his channel. There's going to be, they'll upload clips of it over on the Valuetainment channel like they always do. But it was a good stream. It was a good interview for Gina, and shout out to her and all the 199 that showed up to support her. That was pretty awesome to see.
All right, let's catch up with some of these super chats. I'm going to pull up the tab. Perfect. Got it.
Did you just boop? Did you do a beep bop boop?
I went boop 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 actually.
Okay.
Beardo's secret illiterate racism for 2. How dare you stream during the Gina interview? It's their fault. They got started late.
Yeah.
It's their fault, not ours. We start on time here.
Every now and then.
Contrary to FNT lore, we start on time here.
We actually almost always start on time on this show. Like maybe give or take a few minutes, maybe, but like it's never over 5 minutes.
Jeremy actually cares more about starting on time on this stream than I do. Like I don't really care if it's like
I really do.
Jeremy really likes starting on time.
Oh yeah, man. When it hits, we'll be having a discussion, and I'm like, shut the fuck up. It's 11 o'clock. Let's go.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Buffalo Spirit says Dana White pooped in Vince McMahon's mouth.
What?
Hey, maybe. Red Mage for $20. One thing I tell people is everyone should do at least one customer service focused job for a significant amount of time in their life. You gain an understanding and perspective of how draining those types of jobs can be. Yeah, I mean, working retail or any type of customer service or anything like that can be it's draining.
It's super draining. David says, is this a regular stream? I need to add it to my listening schedule. Yes, every day, Monday through Friday, same time for an hour, sometimes an hour and a half. But yeah, like I'm telling you, man, retail is grueling. It will drain the life out of you. It will make you hate people. It basically will turn you into Ryan Kennel. That's what working retail for more than a few years will make you into Ryan Kennel. That's what it will do.
I really do think it's because of stuff we talked about earlier. You're putting on a fake face. right? Because you have to be nice to everybody. You know, you have to be nice to everybody, treat everybody nice, even if you don't want to, even if they're being an asshole. And you're also doing something you don't care about. Like, you don't care about folding these clothes at JCPenney. You don't care about the company of JCPenney or whatever, like wherever you're working. So, like, those things combined, if that's what you're doing for work, that is draining. That's soul sucking. If you're doing something that you care about, if you're able to be yourself and be authentic, it's not as soul draining. Like,
Yep. Exactly. What's up, Hypnotic? And you're right. That's right.
So that's why I think Hassan's catching too much heat. He's fake as fuck. So yeah, I bet it is soul draining for Hassan because he's a fucking liar. He's a fake champagne socialist, right? Like, it does not get more fake than the lifestyle that Hassan leads. So you know what? I bet it is very draining for the little soul that he has left.
So funny. Good stuff. But yes, welcome into any new viewers. And yes, this is a regular Monday through Friday stream. So thank you for being here. We appreciate it.
Lord of the Ree on Rumble, doing my part to recharge Jeremy's social battery. Yeah, that's how we recharge our battery with super chats as streamers.
Yeah, that's I'm gonna get like a little social battery during my streams, and it'll be running low. And every time somebody sends like a big super chat, that's how I recharge. Because again, Hassan's taught me like streaming is tough. It drains your battery, and I need money to recharge my battery so I can become a multimillionaire socialist Bernie bro who says tax the rich from my mansion and all my sports cars. Just like Hassan.
Maybe Hassan doesn't have a soul because one time he walked in on his uncle fucking a horse, and that just forever changed him. Did we ever consider this?
May want to give some details for the uninitiated on that one.
Oh, his Uncle Chank from Young Turks.
Yes, from the Young
fucking
Turks.
Horse. Maybe he walked in on that. Is there any other context anyone needs?
I'm just saying that look it up because he's full on like bestiality. He supports it.
As long as the horse consents.
Yes,
like,
exactly.
Just to be clear, I don't want to, I don't want to put words in his mouth or horse cock in his mouth. As long as like the animal's okay with it, like he's fine with it. According to Chank. Space Monkey, member for a month. Hey Jay, Power Wash Simulator got a Warhammer 40K DLC. I don't know how that could be true, but thank you, Space Monkey.
That would be interesting. Dude, did you see our Mario Golf stream? Did you see we were playing Mario Golf?
I saw.
We had 930 people on my little bitty D-Day Cobra 199 channel, which is insane. But I had so it was really competitive between me, Johnny, Beardo, and Jay. It was really competitive. And then I just had two really bad holes. Like it was bad. It was really bad. And then I started kind of going all or nothing. And I hit this ridiculous eagle to get myself back into it. I almost came back, but ultimately I think it was Johnny won 6 under. I think I finished 4 under. Beardo finished 4 under and Jay was 5 under. It was a pretty damn good match though. So we got to get Ryan back involved in that. Ryan likes the golfing games. That's one game I can get him to play. Even if it's Mario Golf, he'll still play it.
I do like hate the physics surrounding Mario Golf because it's not real. Gary's Beard Dingleberries for 2. 199 popcorn bucket win. Like this. Gently used.
Pretty sure. I keep saying that like Dune Part 1 was one of the best theater experiences ever. I got a feeling Dune Part 2 with the popcorn bucket, there's going to be a little bit better experience for Dune Part 2. Just saying. Have you fucked it yet, Ryan?
No, I haven't. Keeping it pristine. I didn't even put popcorn in it, let alone my dick. So. Lord of the Reef for $1. I consider having to listen to Hamas Piker's retarded opinion to be draining on my social battery. Or no, to be social battery. Like assault. I like it. Lord of the Reef. Wesley for 5. If you want to make streaming easier, just play other people's videos while you make yourself some chicken nuggets.
Yeah, I heard that. That's what he did.
What do you want me to do? Starve?
Is that what he said?
When he got criticism for like walking away to eat or whatever.
Oh no.
He's like, what do you want me to do? Starve?
Jeez, man. God dang.
Yeah.
What do you want? How is this dude he's one of the biggest streamers on the internet. It's insane.
There's a lot of retarded people out there.
It's insane, man.
I think he's kind of he definitely peaked and is kind of on his downward trajectory now in general. I think he's burned a lot of bridges. And I think a lot of people just for a while thought he was kind of stupid and not as radical as he actually is, but he's both retarded and very radical with his viewpoints. So
Who would be considered who's the biggest streamer online consistently?
biggest streamer period, probably some
Mm.
fucking anime VR person from Japan, if I had to guess. But in terms of like Twitch political streamer, I think Hassan still pulls the biggest numbers.
I would say like consistently on the YouTube side, it's got to be Tim Pool, right? Consistently.
Yeah, 30 to 35, 40 a
Mhm.
night, you know, and then if they have a big guest, it'll pop off.
Oh, you know who's probably the biggest is Aiden Ross is probably the biggest consistent streamer right now.
How
I
many
think
people
so.
does he even pull?
Oh, dude, Aiden Ross pulls like 50, 60,000 like consistently on Kick. It seems
On
like. I mean,
Kick?
I don't pay attention to him that much, but like I know that one stream he had like 500,000 watching when he was like pulled the whole I'm interviewing who was it Kim
Jong-un or
yeah,
whatever?
yeah. Dr. Disrespect, Doc's pretty big. I don't know if he's as I don't think he's as big as on the YouTube side. He's probably he pulls like 20 to 30. I think Tim the Tap Man's usually got 20,000. So, but yeah, I think Aiden Ross might be. I think Aiden Ross might be the biggest streamer, which is kind of crazy. He's actually pretty funny, especially when he gets Gorlock on there and starts asking all these questions. It's bad.
Yeah, I can't watch that shit.
It's so bad.
GJJ, member for 24 months, 2 years, man. I need a life. Well, you're a member for 24 months. Yeah. Google presents Elon Musk for 2. I think Gina choked out Adam from Patrick Bet David. Maybe that's why he wasn't there. People were saying a lot of that in the chat.
Speaking of the Google presents, have you seen this one right here? I somebody retweeted this. Watch this.
God.
Make the AI machine show white people. What? Ask who likes fried chicken. You made this up. No, that can't be true.
So you ask it who likes fried chicken and it won't show black people. That's the only way that Google Gemini will show white people.
Wasn't there one? Didn't somebody did a prompt like show Joe Biden trying to buy fried chicken and it wouldn't do it, but it would do it for Trump?
I didn't see that one. That's funny though.
There was just so much shit flying around there. It was tough to keep up.
Show people eating fried chicken and won't put black, or who likes fried chicken and oh man,
we're gonna miss it when that gets fixed.
I know, dude. I don't know if it'll get fixed. I think it's always going to be a flawed system because it's made by psychopathic left-wing lunatics. You know what I mean? So the system's only going to know what you train it to do. So it's never going to give you an honest answer. It's only going to give you an answer from their perspective of whoever's designing it.
Tomac for $10. How about being a cashier while being painfully introverted for being a hard job? I bet some people would rather swallow a shotgun than do that job. Probably. That's my guess at least.
The worst job I've had, there's 2 of them. It's either I did delivery for Krispy Kreme donuts.
That sounds amazing.
Oh, dude, trust me, Ryan.
It would have been really early though, huh?
It was like, so my route would start at like 1 a.m.
Yeah.
And let's just say I didn't end up in the greatest area, you know,
going to all those 7-Elevens with like fucking bars on the windows and shit to drop off the little box.
It was terrifying. But that was the worst part, was just like, you know, the areas and the concern for safety and all of that. But the other worst part was, so when you deliver the donuts, like say there's like 3 days left on the shelf life and I'm bringing a new batch in, I have to pull all of the donuts and put them in a plastic trash bag. I have to count each one.
You can't eat them.
So you take it back to the warehouse. I swear to God, you throw so many fucking donuts away. It's unbelievable. I was eating a lot of fucking donuts. I'm like, yeah, I pull one from here. I was eating a lot of donuts, and I would get home after my shift of like, you know, at 9 a.m. or something, just feeling horrible about myself because you're not gonna not eat donuts. You
just ate a fuck ton of carbs and sugar, and
it's awful. It was the worst. So the combination of you know, being in very unflattering areas at 3 o'clock in the morning consistently, and then eating donuts all night and getting home and just feeling terrible about my life, and then sleeping during the day. It was the worst thing ever.
In high school, we knew somebody who worked at a Dunkin' Donuts, and like at midnight or 1 or whatever, when they were closing up, they like a certain time they would throw away yesterday's batch of donuts.
Yeah.
So if you knew the person was working that night, we'd show up there like fucking, you know, really late at night and just get handed a trash bag full of old Dunkin' Donuts.
Yeah.
We'd eat the fuck out of that shit.
Oh man.
Those
And
are
the other one,
days.
the other horrible job was I worked for Alsco. You know what Alsco is? Like the uniform linens and stuff like that.
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
disgusting.
It was awful, dude. It was awful. And the worst part was so if you go to restaurants and things like that, and they have they put all of their like aprons, rags, overcoats, and they put them all in these bags after they're dirty, and then they put them in this kind of plastic container with wheels, and they roll it outside. So if it rains the day before or the day of, or if it rained at any point that week, then it's just filled with roaches and maggots, and because it's got a lot of it's food, you know what I mean? And so you'd go there, you have to unload that into your truck. So you're driving a truck full of smelly linens with food and maggots and roaches throughout the entire day. Then you have to stop and get lunch. It's fucking torture. But hey, streaming's a real hard job, apparently. That was the worst. I will say it will put you in shape though. Throwing 150 bags a day into
except
a truck
for the donuts.
Yeah, well, I don't know if I made it for that many donuts. That was a lot of donuts.
Yeah, I mean, I worked at a golf course, both like doing carts and washing carts and putting carts away, and then eventually like in the pro shop behind the register and stuff like that. I worked at a restaurant, started off washing dishes, and then moved up to like cooking on the line and everything. I worked retail. I worked at Walmart doing like shopping cart return and stuff like that, and cleaning bathrooms while I was still in high school.
Dude, I would, if I could go
I worked retail at JCPenney for a while.
Wait, what did you do at JCPenney? Did you fold the shirts and shit and ring people up?
I worked in men's suits.
Holy fuck.
And so yeah, I would
if I get a time machine, I'm going back in time and I'm going to shop at the JCPenney Ryan Kennel worked at to see if you were miserable then as you are now.
Hey, sometimes I worked in customer service there. Sometimes I was like a backup for customer service. Not because I was nice, because the people there were too fucking retarded. They didn't know how to like work the computers and shit. But yeah, and then I joined the military. And I did that for 11 fucking years.
Somebody said, bro, where is it at? Bro, I want to see Ryan in a suit. So I actually, so I got a funny story about that. Where is it at? I can't remember. Somebody said, I want to see Ryan in a suit. So me and Ryan went to Tampa to a Ron DeSantis event. This was back when DeSantis was doing the whole, running for governor and all that. And wasn't it? No, he wasn't campaigning for governor, was he?
Yeah, it was. It was,
okay.
It was probably like a month or so, maybe a couple weeks before that. It was midterms, but it happened to be the governor too. Yeah.
Okay. So we get there. Shout out to Benny Johnson, by the way. But me and you get there. Ryan is like got this suit on that he just looks like he's the most important guy there. I'm walking around in a fucking hoodie and a fucking hat and blue jeans. Ryan's got this fucking amazing suit on, and he's walking around like with one hand in his pocket. Everywhere Ryan goes, like it looked like I was like the roadie, basically. Like it looked like I was the guy that was supposed to make sure no one got in contact with Ryan, and everybody's like, "How you doing?" Like they were nodding.
Everybody thought
Ryan.
I was like really important.
They did. They did.
Yeah, everybody thought I was super fucking important.
It really did. It was so funny. So yeah, Ryan had the whole business look and a very VIP look going on.
I think the best I've ever looked suit wise since in the past like couple of years was probably at the Terror on the Prairie premiere when we went to that. Yep. My suit was rocking for that.
I think you looked. I think you looked more important at when we were at that event, just because of the optics of how it felt. Because there were a lot. Like this was a This was like a biker hangout. Like
yes,
there
was like some people that were in like looked like they just got off a fucking Harley.
Yeah,
there were some people that were in suits. It was like such a crazy mix of people.
Right.
Yeah,
so that's the thing is, so everybody at the Terror on the Prairie thing, a lot of people were dressed up and everything like that. Like you were surrounded by a bunch of like, you know, hardcore conservative, like bikers, people there for Trump, people there for DeSantis, and then you got Ryan walking around in this fucking magnificent suit, and everybody's like looking like, who the fuck is this guy? And then you go to sit down to eat pizza or whatever we ate, and
I just like shove shit in my mouth, and they're like people that like thought they should know me. That's how it felt.
Yeah,
like it'd be people that said hi, that they like thought that maybe they should know me or something.
Yeah. All right, we should probably get back on point.
Steph says I hated Jeremy's shoes that event. Yeah, Jeremy wore like moccasins or something to Terror on the Prairie.
Yeah, I hate dressing up. I dressed up my whole entire fucking political or my retail career.
My entire political career, I had to dress up.
Yeah, my whole entire retail career. So I used to wear like a shirt and tie and all that shit. I don't do it anymore.
Krylo Ren for $10. Shout out to my bro Bobby Iger for putting my baby mama Ray in another movie. Hey, we're going to talk about Bob Iger and Disney in general here in a second. CJ for $5. Bad fast food workers drink Bud Light and play Starfield. Maybe. Bert for 23 months. Jeremy, I noticed Malcolm Flex was missing from the past 2 TNME episodes. Are we going to have to wait till next February to see him on the show again?
No, he's been invited.
He's got some shit going on.
Yeah,
he wasn't able to make Sports Wars because he had some stuff going on. So Booty for $2 on Rumble. Have you seen the 17th century kings eating watermelon? Yes, I have. It's hilarious for Google Gemini. 17th century English kings eating watermelon. And the results are exactly what you'd expect. Cole Hauser for $5. Clickety clack, the acolyte will be black. Hey, Ryan and Jeremy, put a black chick in it, and it will definitely be appropriated. 199, yo, Joe, praise Allah. I can't wait for Amanda Stenberg, who is the black, non-binary, feminist activist, LGBT activist, to be the lead in Acolyte. It's going to be my favorite.
Oh, it's going to be wonderful.
Picasso, member for 7 months. Hail the 199. Take care. Be safe, everyone. Thank you, Picasso. Magmore for 5. Ryan's personality is an amalgam of every guy I met in the military in one person. Thank you, Magmore. Blue Shell, member for 12 months. So I missed TNME yesterday, and Kevin gifted me a sub. So I'm here to say thank you.
Shout out to Kevin. He dropped a 50 gifted memberships on the on main event last night. And again, to clarify all that, so I did say that we were going to do a main event, and then I heard from a lot of people, and they were like, "You better not do that. Even if somebody else needs to host it or whatever, like main event goes on." So I ended up.
Jeremy called me and he's like, "Can you host?" I'm like, "No."
I didn't fucking ask you to host. Go fuck yourself.
It's true. He didn't. I was just
like, what are you saying? Anyway, no, I wouldn't ever put Ryan in that position because honestly, the last night might have been the only night Ryan could have hosted. Ryan, there was no black people on the panel last night. Okay.
So... Oh, you should have let me know, and I would have been there a heartbeat. I actually wouldn't have been able to though if you'd asked, because you started early.
And honestly, that might be the time. Like, we may start doing main event a little bit earlier because it will allow me to still do Cobra Cast and everything like that. No, I didn't ask you to host either. And go fuck yourself, Dan. I would need a good host like Drunk 3PO, not you or Ryan, Dan.
That's right. The Carnivore Trucker for 5. Bad fast food workers are either new workers or people like Ryan who want to die. Sophie for 12 months. 1 year, let's fucking go. All hail the weirdos with our collectibles. Got all my anime figures and manga, slowly collecting anime sword replicas, starting with Zoro. Oh, that's cool. Shout out, Sophie. Yanker for 199. Hail. How can I meet other nerds in real life? It's tough. Hey, they tend to stay inside, don't they?
Yeah, you can come to our meetups.
That's the one surefire way, Yanker.
Yeah, and I think there's been a lot of people that have made a lot of friends at the meetup. So me and Ryan talked about this before, but like, it's like we've got people that come to the meetups now that they've been there so many times that their focus isn't even to come meet us now. They're to come hang out with their friends. You know what I mean? That they've met at other meetups, and then they meet new people there. It's really cool.
Yeah, I told my origin story on Stargrift a couple nights ago because it'd been so long since I told it about the meetup at San Diego or whatever that people had no idea what the fuck I was talking about. So, Gremlin Anku for 20. You want to know pain work as a deli clerk? Lunch meat makes people assholes. Yeah, people. I mean, when I do go to a deli and ask for something, and it's like the person can't understand what I'm trying to fucking tell them. That is frustrating. So I bet you get frustrated too. Corey Bloomberg for 20. Worst job I ever had was on the Suncor pipeline. 14 coworkers died on the job in 4 years.
Oof.
They range anywhere from hypothermia to falling 20 plus feet. I can't imagine the hazards Hassan faces from his chair in his mansion. God, yeah, it's I'd love to see Hassan read that super chat. Actually,
I hope his I hope his audience keeps seeing him for what he is. You said he's kind of on the decline now. I mean, he's still pulling huge numbers. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, he's
but,
still averaging probably
yeah.
like 20K or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So, but
But
dude,
I think
what a clown, man.
Yeah, I think that the past, again, a lot of people like that space really took off during COVID. As a lot of people got engaged politically, a lot of people were at home a lot, you know, whatever. So all streamers kind of saw that bump. But I feel like in the past couple of years, between the Russia-Ukraine stuff, certainly with everything going on in Israel and Gaza right now, I think Hassan's caught a lot of backlash from people for some of his takes on that shit. So kind of on the downward trajectory. Obviously still massive. Scott McKenzie, member for 19 months. Hail Jeremy, Ryan, and chat. Shogun seems off to a good start. Dune 2, what else looks good coming up? I haven't watched Shogun yet, but I've heard it's good, so I'll probably try to check it out.
Yeah, I mean, I think the obvious is Deadpool, being out later this year is going to be a huge kind of event film. And I think once it comes out and it is probably massively successful, you'll start seeing like Marvel is back bullshit articles from a lot of the shill media, which in reality, it will have literally no impact on the Marvel Cinematic Universe. What I think Deadpool will prove is it will prove my theory correct, that there is no such thing as superhero fatigue. There's such thing as bad superheroes, and bad superhero movies people don't want to go see. But if you focus on the big heavy hitters, then yes, of course, people are going to go see the movies. If you're putting out good Batman movies and Superman movies and Spider-Man movies and Deadpool and Wolverine and X-Men, if you're focusing on the top tier characters and then occasionally giving us some not so well-known characters that can have their own little stories, but it still complements the bigger picture story, then there's no such thing as superhero fatigue. But at this point in time, there's so much woke bullshit out there. Deadpool ain't going to do shit to save Marvel. It ain't going to do nothing. Just like Spider-Man No Way Home did nothing. Had no impact whatsoever. It was a huge success. People went to see it. People loved it. Had no impact on the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Let's shift gears a little because I want to talk about something that happened at Disney yesterday. There's actually a couple things that have been going on at Disney the past couple days that are very, very interesting. Despite Bob Iger and Disney trying to convince everybody for the past couple months that even though we've had box office flop after flop, streaming disasters, PR failures, and nightmares, all these things have been happening. But don't worry, Disney's on the right path. We are the ones that can fix it. In fact, it's already done. No need to worry. Everything's perfectly fine at Disney. Well, we continue to see big-time shakeups, including at the executive level. And this news dropped out of nowhere a few days ago. Disney film president Sean Bailey is leaving the company. Now, Sean Bailey was in charge of Walt Disney Motion Picture Studios. So the ones that do the live action remakes specifically, that's one thing that they've been doing. And for the first, 10 years that he was there, they probably made a lot of fucking money off everything Sean Bailey worked on. When you look at Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, all that shit, right? All these live action remakes. Recently, hasn't exactly been going so well. And kind of out of nowhere, we just get this big announcement that the head of that studio is gone. The president of that part of Disney is gone, and it's kind of being absorbed into a different job. Searchlight's David Greenbaum takes over and will also run 20th Century Studios. And again, a guy that's been there 15 years, whether he's fired, whether he walked away, kind of feels like it's just a head for the chopping block to try to explain away, hey, you've been associated with a lot of failures and probably a lot of failures to come. You're done. You're gone. But as much as Disney tries to make it seem like everything's fine, certainly everything's not fine there.
No, as a matter of fact. And so how long has this guy been overseeing the live action? Was he from the beginning when they started this live action push, going all the way back to like the Cinderella and all of that? Or was he recent?
So in terms of being the president of Walt Disney Pictures, I don't know. I know he's been with the company for 15 years and has been heavily involved. The first thing he did was Tron, I think, when he came on.
Okay.
And then, but when it comes to like Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, stuff like that, he was involved with those. And
I just think like if you, I would have to, I haven't seen all the live action Disney movies, but I would say if I was just judging like from afar on a percentage, I'd say less than like 20% of those movies were even like worth a damn. Now, success is one thing, and you can point to something like the live action Lion King as being a massive success that it made like, what did it make, like $1.5 billion or some shit like that.
1.6, yeah.
Yeah. And that is a huge success in the same way that The Last Jedi was a huge success. Like, who's asking for the next version of The Lion King now?
Well, yeah. I mean? Well, yeah. Mufasa comes out this year.
Yeah, and nobody's talking about it. Nobody's having. So it was a financial success in terms of on paper, but in reality, the momentum that was created by it, no one's actually looking forward to the follow-up. And that's how you tell if there's a true. So look at all of the Disney live action movies. Who's asking for the sequel to any of them, or the follow-up, or another iteration, or anything? Nobody, because they're all so fucking bad. Well, they're all terrible.
What did we saw? We saw Lion King, Beauty and the Beast, Aladdin, billion-dollar movies. What have we seen recently? Peter Pan and Wendy, that went on to Disney Plus and was a catastrophic failure. The Little Mermaid disaster. Yep. Snow White is the next thing coming, right? That falls under this as well. So whether he's bailing, whether he got fired, that's a little bit unknown. He is still staying on to executive produce Tron, but I think that's because he was been involved from the beginning with that. But while all this is happening, very quietly, we found out something else about Bob Iger. Disney CEO Bob Iger quietly dumps company stock before billionaire showdown.
Oh.
Over the last year, while Bob Iger has been desperately trying to convince everybody that everything's fine at Disney, they're turning it around, don't worry, it's a good investment, Bob Iger has dumped 80% of his Disney stock. All right, let's go down to here. Bob Iger is one of the single largest individual shareholders of the Walt Disney Company, along with a couple other people. However, records show that over the course of the last 12 months, Iger has sold off 80% of his stock. That is per 24/7 Wall Street. That's the source of this information. It was thought that he owned over 1 million shares of Disney stock a year ago, and now currently he owns 204,000.
Wow.
That's a pretty big sell-off.
That's massive. That is massive. Like, that is a huge story. Now, again, I'm not going to pretend to understand all the dynamics of that, but that is, to me, that seems like a major, major story, especially with everything going on with Nelson Peltz and the board and all of that discussion. Then you've got Elon Musk kind of hovering a little bit, just kind of making these little shots he's taking here and there, whether it's directly taking shots at Bob Iger or either hinting at like buying up companies while he's hanging out with Nelson Peltz. Then you got Bob Iger coming out talking about how confident he is in the Walt Disney Company with that garbage video. This is a big story right here. Again, I would like to hear what people are saying, like, that are in the know on this.
Again, there can be a lot of reasons for that, right? So you're talking about essentially liquidating, let's just take a rough average, say about $80 million. That's what this is over the course of 12 months. Now, maybe he's fucking buying a yacht. Maybe he's buying a couple of houses. Like, maybe there's like legit reasons for it that have nothing to do with it. But when you are the CEO of a company that is struggling, you are a massive shareholder. In the past 12 months, while you've been telling everyone else that they should bet on you and bet on this company's recovery, and while stock is at a like decade low, you've sold off 80% of it. You know, depending on how you look at it, can certainly not be a very good sign for people who are investors in this company. But again, could be a lot of reasons why that happens, but certainly doesn't look good just from the outset.
And I want to back up to the story about the live action movies again, but because something you had pointed out, it's kind of like the same process with the live action Disney movies is the same process we've seen with Lucasfilm and with Marvel. Massive success based on IPs or characters or something that people had a connection to in the past. They had all the success in the early stages of like Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, all that. And then the next phase of it has been complete woke trash. That's a Disney problem. That has nothing. That is a Pixar problem. That's a Lucasfilm problem. That's a Marvel problem, and it's a Disney live action movies problem. They use all of this nostalgia to build up all of this success, and then once they've got the successful films and they've made billion-dollar movies and they've established all this, then it moves into this woke disaster across the board. Every single aspect of their entertainment brand on the movie side or the TV side, they do this shit. It is a Disney problem, which becomes a Bob Iger problem. That's where the problem lies. It's not these individuals. As much as we can hate Kathleen Kennedy, and she does suck, and she's terrible, it's so much more beyond the individual people, because you don't see one element of the company succeeding.
It's Lucasfilm, it's Marvel,
Yes.
it's live action, it's animated, it's Pixar,
Everything.
Like, Walt Disney Animation Studios and Pixar.
Yeah.
Like, every aspect of this company, the parks, like people are getting tired of the parks. People are complaining about the parks, whether it's the lines, whether it's the service, whether it's the fact that they're not investing where they should be, whether it's the rides they decide to keep or get rid of. Almost everywhere, Disney's failing, it seems.
Yep. 100%.
Other than, a big investment in Epic Games, because, we heard the kids are getting into video games, and Bob Iger wanted to get ahead of that.
How do you do, fellow gamers?
Yeah. And then when asked about that, when Bob Iger gets asked about, when is that deal? When are we going to start seeing those things? He's like, I don't really know. I can't put a date on it. It's not going to be years, but, maybe a couple years.
Dude, in 2 years, Fortnite could be irrelevant.
Yeah.
It could. Like,
it probably will be. That'll be the funny part.
I know. Like, Fortnite, I obviously I'm a huge fan of Fortnite, and I like but in 2 years in the gaming world is an eternity. Fortnite could be irrelevant. Now, Epic Games is doing a great job of keeping up with everything, but 2 years, Fortnite could be done. Could be over with. I personally don't think it will be, but I'm just saying. Yeah. I do believe that that's a possibility, and it just shows that they don't understand the gaming world at all. And like, what happens if oh, hey, this new Fall Guys game, let's jump into that. That's what all the kids are playing. Now how'd that work out for you?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, so let's get involved in this Cyberpunk 2077. That's gonna be a big hit.
Yeah, it's like,
and to be fair, they did kind of come full circle and they did fix everything. But quickly things can fall apart in the gaming world quickly.
Lord of the Reef for $1. I used to work at customer service desk at Sam's Club. Imagine how bitchy the customers are when they pay to shop there.
Oof.
That's true. Vault 95 survivor for $1. And one of my commands was so bad, so stressful. 1 year we had 11 self-deleting attempts and 1 successful. Jeez. But no one there could ever understand how stressed out and drained Hassan is. Yeah, look at the number of active duty military and veterans that fucking kill themselves all the time. Mm-hmm. Yeah, streaming's rough. Google presents Elon Musk for $5. Jeremy, people in the PBD podcast were typing 187 to the 199.
Hey, when you're on a big stream like that, that's why I didn't want it to come off as spam or anything like that. That's why I was trying to explain it. I was like, man, there's just so many. There's so many.
Where am I? Achilles Jones, member for 5 months. Hey, G&G. Hey, Jeremy. Hey, Ryan. Who are in the top 3 for you playing James Bond? Oh, man, I don't know. Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Who's that guy?
There's that guy that was in that film that he starred with that actress, and then there was the director.
Yeah.
There was a director that directed
I remember
him.
that.
Yeah, there was a director. But there was another actor that was in a movie with an actor.
Henry Cavill, definitely Henry Cavill.
Absolutely, Henry Cavill.
That question was freaking wild.
It was.
The one answer Ryan Gosling actually got me when I'm like, you know what? I guess I could in the right circumstance. But to me, excuse me, like, of the names that have been thrown out there a lot, I know Tom Hardy's out there. I I don't know if I can see that.
I love Tom Hardy as an actor. I
don't like
see
him as James Bond.
I don't see that as James. I don't see it.
To me, Henry Cavill has been the guy for a long fucking time.
He's the obvious answer that everybody's going to, and he is the obvious answer. Like it truly would be. Now, I think Christian Bale's I think he's too old now to do it. I've always wanted Christian Bale to be in that role, but I think
Right.
I don't. Is Bale in his 50s now?
He's probably late 40s.
Yeah. So I mean,
yeah.
Bale has always been the guy I would have loved to see in that role, but he's too old now. I think at this point.
Like
Tom Hiddleston would not be bad.
If you're talking about younger guys, I've heard Richard Madden thrown out there a lot. But I don't know if he has the presence required to play James Bond. I like Richard Madden, but I don't think he has that presence. To me, Henry Cavill is the top and like really the only answer for who I think it should be. Now he's what, 40 now? How old is Henry Cavill?
Yeah, I think he's right at 40.
So if they're gonna do it, they have to do it now.
No Kit Harington, please God, no Kit.
Not Kit Harington, no Tom Holland. Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up with all of this shit. For a while, Arnie Hammer was a guy that was being thrown out there, and I could have seen that, but of course now with all the fucking shit that came out about him, he stopped being recommended for anything. But
Pedro Pascal, I want Pedro Pascal.
Oh no, God.
Taron Egerton, I mean, I don't know if
he's too short, isn't he?
I don't think Taron Egerton screams Bond to me. And again, I'm not a Bond expert, so I'm not, but I just don't know if Taron Egerton would be. Tom Hiddleston's not a bad choice. He's not a bad choice.
He'd be okay. I know a lot of people talking about Aaron Taylor Johnson. I don't particularly love that as Bond personally, but I don't know. To me, you can't be. Again, we've seen Tom Cruise play action stars, even though he's short, right? And they do things. For me, for a Bond to be a pretty short guy, I don't know if I could deal with that.
I just like Tom Hardy would like. I think Tom Hardy's a phenomenal actor, but he's a little. Again, I haven't seen Tom Hardy in anything. In, it seems like a few years, at least anything prominent. But so like Venom's the last thing I remember.
Yeah, wait till Venom 3.
Yeah, but like I'm a huge fan of him as an actor, but I just can't see him being in that role. But maybe he could. To me, his best role still is Warrior. I fucking love that movie so much, dude. That he is fantastic in Warrior.
Anyway, Tobias next is for 5. I wasn't exactly able to before. Had shit network, less than 1 megabyte upload, and I got 1 megabyte down if I was lucky. I can try again now.
Yeah, that's rough internet right there.
Stian Higheim for 4 months. Keep up the good work. Hail from Norway. Put a chick in it, make her lame and gay. # make Marvel male again. Taker for 5. Isabella Merced said she joined Superman Legacy after reading the script. She said Lois is the focus and Superman's more of a background character. Okay, so there is a story that's floating around out there of something Isabella Merced said. And here, let me actually see if I can find it. Because I can't find the actual. I don't believe it. Like, I don't think it's actually real.
I personally like until I'm shown otherwise, I am still very much excited for James Gunn's Superman Legacy. Now, I say that because I've loved all 3 of his Guardians movies, and I was a fan of Dawn of the Dead that he wrote, that Zack Snyder directed. I was a fan of, is it Brightburn? Brightburn. I was a fan of Brightburn. Is that even a real Marvel Studios
So
account?
this is a Marvel Studios Facebook group that has like 36,000 people.
Right,
it's posted by a random person named Victoria.
Okay. And see, that's why a lot of people are probably running with it, because they don't understand. Because that's exactly what I was asking. I was like, wait a minute. All right, go ahead.
And because this is the reason I saw the story, because I saw this going around. Isabella Merced blames the fans for Madam Web failure. It failed for one simple reason. For the same reasons the Marvels or Birds of Prey have failed, because the male audience still hides a deep contempt for everything that is starring strong, independent women. I saw that quote. I'm like, holy fuck, I'm going to make a video about that. But I cannot find it anywhere other than this.
Yeah.
And in the same place, this is where this is being said. Lois Lane is really the protagonist. Superman is the symbol, but she is the ideal brought to action while being a normal woman and real. And the other thing, it's like she just accepted Hawkgirl when she read the script. But the thing was, I don't even know if the script was totally complete when she accepted the role or not. So I have big doubts about both of these quotes because I can't find this one anywhere, and it's in the same sentence. So
and I
I'm
know
still looking, but I don't know.
And that's the thing is people just don't understand how Facebook groups work, and they just think that's a post from Marvel Studios, and they probably think that Victoria is like someone that just took the screenshot of the Marvel Studios post. You know,
Yeah. I searched for like this quote specifically. I put it in Google. I could not find the source of this anywhere other than this. So if somebody can show me that, then if somebody shows me that, then please pass it on. But I don't know. Anyway, Crit Nature. You guys saw the trailer Horizon American Saga? If not, can we check it out together? Maybe we can do that tomorrow because we're obviously running pretty late on this. I saw it. I think it looks fucking cool. I like Costner.
I saw that trailer going around. I haven't had a chance to watch it yet. So yeah, maybe we can just do that tomorrow.
T-Dog for 5. You guys aren't racist, right? I'm Latino and agree with you guys 90% of the time. Notably about BS race swapping. Also, is Trump in trouble financially?
No, and no, we're not racist. Well, yeah, not all the way. And Trump is not in trouble financially.
Nate Hoostman for 10. Jeff Bezos sold $8.5 billion of Amazon stock. Zuckerberg sold $428 million of Meta. Jamie Dimon sold $150 million of JP Morgan. The elites know something. Wesley for 2. I work security at San Francisco Walgreens. Easiest job in the world. Yeah, you just let him go. Jacob, member for 10 months. Why do all men YouTubers have beards? Is it because they're self-conscious of their double chins or want to look wise? I wonder. Well, I'm definitely hiding a double chin, 1,000%. So that must be it, Jacob.
I think a lot of people have beards because if you're a YouTuber, I think you don't have to worry about rules of a job and you can do whatever the fuck you want. So people grow out their facial hair.
Personally, I spent 11 years in the military having to shave every fucking day, and I didn't want to do that anymore. So like even when I had a couple weeks off of leave, I would try to grow facial hair. Like that's kind of my reasoning. When you spend 11 years with somebody telling you can't have any like a beard or whatever, you kind of want to afterwards.
And I'm just letting my shit grow to see what happens with it. I keep shaving it. This is about the most I've gotten, and I usually shave it around this point because I really don't care to have a beard, but I'm also kind of lazy and don't feel like shaving. I've never really had like I always keep just like a little bit of a stubble there, but we'll see what happens. Tomorrow I could have this shaved. I don't give a shit.
Naggardnall, member for 22 months. I made a bunch of good friends at the meetup. You guys inspired us to start the 199 podcast. We're going to have Project Egg Roll on this Friday.
Oh, yeah. Guys, we got to, I do have that you got to make that a fan thing, though. That sounds like it's ours. So if you're going to do stuff like the whole Reddit thing, you've got to separate to make it not look like it's officially G&G because that's what it looks like. So it needs to be retitled something to make it not look official because that whole Reddit thing. So the whole thing with trademarks and copyrights is if you do not protect them, you can lose them. And that's the unfortunate part of running a fucking business. I've had to reach out privately to people that are like using it, even if it was not intentional, because that whole Reddit thing, which even if it was separated as a fan thing, it caused us so many problems. Even though it said like in the description, it's a fan run thing. We've got the Facebook group that's fan run that I've got to get involved with that because it's using the G&G logo, all that. So just keep that in mind.
SBZ for 5. Imagine a podcast hosted by Adam, Beardo, and Lofty. It'd be so contrarian. Their viewers would go negative. Mountain Mutt for 199. Yeah, try 911.com/emergency, or sorry, 911.com/emergency dispatch. Yeah, probably stressful. I most Ward for 5. Hassan should grow up if his soul is dead from doing nothing. I work 10-hour shifts and do YouTube stuff because I enjoy it as a side hobby. Suns and Shadows for 5. Social battery recharge fee. We're proud to earn each of our 395 subs. Would gladly trade my real job for streaming. Hail the 199.
Hail.
Space Monkey for 199. Ryan, Warhammer 40K Power Wash Simulator is real. Okay, I believe you. Jay will have to check it out. Yo Pops for 2. Ryan Body Pillow win. Whenever enough people ask. Max Falcon Ridge for 279. Here, recharge your batteries, you figs. Hail the 199. Beardo's Secret Illiterate Racism for 2. Ryan got that Dune popcorn bucket pregnant. Nah, it was actually on its period when I fucked it, so we're all good. Super Chain Destroyer for 3 confirmed. Jeremy has 2 bad holes. Cole Hauser for 2.
Every time I've said that about I was like, I know I'm gonna get memed on that one.
Cole Hauser for 2. My super chat was missed. Jeremy, you getting Metalhead? I think we read it. It might have taken a little bit of time, Cole Hauser.
Yes,
we got it.
Yes,
you getting Metalhead?
Yes, I have so many goddamn classified figures at this point. It's stupid. And every time I see them, I can't stop buying them. I try not to order them exclusively, though. I try to get them out in the wild. Some of them I have ordered. So yeah, man, there's just, it's just way too many. Ryan, give me some money.
Nah, Spider Claw for 5. Jed said yesterday he was happy only being above Ben was okay. But come on, Jed, you're above Beardo too. I don't call him Fear the Reading Problem for nothing. Thank you, Spider Claw. Lower Lips Liquor for 5. Put in Google. Show me images of shoplifting. You get all white people, no black or brown. That's called true diversity. Angry Badger for 199. Jeremy about to write a poem about Ryan in a suit. Eric K for 2. You all are always secondary on people to meet. Thank you. Sir Hat for 2. Saw Shogun episode 1 and 2 and liked it. Very faithful. I don't know anything about like where it's derived from, but I've heard it's good. The Worthy One for 2. You're wrestling Mount Rushmore. Go. Mine, to be honest, mine would kind of ruin the mountain because you can't see it. John Cena, 1, 2, 3, and 4.
Oh God. Just cringe. Just kill me. Like this, is this what it feels like to be is this what it feels like to be you ordering fast foods? I'm cringing so hard. Like I hate your guts right now for that answer.
Why?
I really like, I'm going to call you after and tell you what I really want to say to you. Anyway,
your time is up. My time is now.
The proper Mount Rushmore of professional wrestling is Austin, Hogan, Flair. And this is where it gets tough. The fourth one, you could throw Shawn Michaels in there. You can throw Bret Hart. You could put The Undertaker. You could put The Rock. I personally go with Bret the Hitman Hart. So that's it right
I'd
there.
put HBK up there before Bret Hart. I like Shawn Michaels.
Yeah. So
that's it. And I think we're all caught up. We ran late.
Right.
We're talking about suits and jobs and shit. Taker for $2. Guys, which tier did you put Jack in the Box in? Jack in the Box is probably like,
it's pretty low.
I love Jack in the Box. So the food's dog shit, but I fucking love it.
Same thing. I love it and it's terrible. I was pretty low. I think Jack in the Box was down like C or D level.
Oh, I had to be fighting against that. I would have put it at least at a B probably.
I think it was like C or D level. But yeah, the whole chat now, man, I want to talk wrestling so bad. We got to do that stream. Anyway,
I don't give a fuck.
That's it. Thank you guys. Appreciate you. You have a great day, and I'll see you for Cobra Cast tonight over on my D-Day Cobra channel. What do you got going on, Ryan? Any positivity?
Well, I'm going to do research on this because that's about the most incredible thing I've heard in a while.
Really?
So,
okay.
Oh yeah. Other than that, I don't know. I'm just going to fucking do whatever, make videos.
All right, guys. Have a great day.
Maybe I'll play video games today. I don't know.
Have a great day. We'll talk to all of you later. Bye, everyone.